Hey everyone, Ramon Russell here. It's time
That's
for
quiet.
another feature premiere. Today's episode is all about gameplay, and it's super important because the tech test will be live tomorrow, so we got a lot to talk about. I am joined today by newly minted design manager Luis Martinez, and also he's newly minted design director Steve Merker. How are you guys doing?
I'm great. Thank you. Thanks for taking a minute to talk to us.
Same, yeah. It's a really exciting time here. It's also we're trying to get to the finish line, but yeah, doing great, Ramon.
Yes, the chaos getting to the finish line. It is nothing but chaos, but we are loving every minute of it. We are putting the finishing touches on MLB The Show 23. So what are you most excited for from the design and feature teams?
I think one can never say it too much.
Can't wait.
The Negro League experience is going to be incredible.
Yeah, this is going to be cool. It is going to be cool.
In addition to that, I'm loving what our Diamond Dynasty team is doing in improvements this year. Some of the big features that are going to be coming. That I can't wait for those to be spoken to and get the feedback.
I can't wait for Road to the Show to be exactly the same for everybody.
It's
going to be so awesome.
The way you approach the mode, how you build your team, it's really exciting. And then we've got a bunch of changes to franchise. You're going to be experiencing the draft and everything related to the draft.
In a different way, but don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
We'll see about that.
Pull back.
But didn't we talk about the draft already?
We updated the trade logic again for the 25th time.
So yeah, stay tuned for that.
We got a lot to talk about, but we don't want to spoil too much more. But what do you want fans to know about the game this year, guys, overall?
There's definitely been a lot of steps to make it feel as unique as a game should in a series, right? Every year you're putting out another baseball game, right? And that's every annual title does that. And every year we try to make it different and we try to make it special. And sometimes it gets mired and nobody sees the changes. But this, I think, really is pertinent in the change that we want the game to start taking on.
All right, let's see.
It's very much an impactful release. It has so much meaning from every mode and every experience has something that registers.
Except for Road to the Show, probably.
Plays our game, and that's the thing I want everybody to take out. The team has worked really hard. We're very proud of them, and we're going to continue doing this here on. It's the first day of the rest of the life. We're continuing.
Also, Luis, before we start talking about legends, I know y'all want more legend reveals, but you have to remember, not only did we announce Derek Jeter, which Luis wants to talk a little bit about, but we've also announced 8 Negro League legends. And yes, Jackie Robinson is already in the game, but this is a different version of Jackie Robinson. And I know y'all have been asking a lot. You will be able to play as the 8 Negro League legends in other areas, but storylines is the focus, and everything about the Negro Leagues and these legends are built off of the storylines mode. What about Jeter, Luis? How excited are you?
Pushing people into playing the mode, probably for some Diamond Dynasty rewards.
I don't usually play up my Yankee fandom too much, but this year, with Jeter on the cover, it's just, I'm getting the feels. So super excited about
almost 5 minutes in, no gameplay. All right.
Reveals. And I'm really excited about something that we can't even touch on. Some more surprises to come. So super excited.
Yeah, we got more surprises coming. So here we go. We're going to talk about some gameplay.
Somebody needs to give Ramon a new mic, dude.
Go. Thanks, Steve and Luis. And now let's talk about gameplay. Again, the tech test will be live tomorrow. So I got my man Kyle joining me. What's up, Kyle? How you doing?
I'm feeling great, Ramon.
Tech test is random.
Gameplay.
And for the first time on the stream, we got my man Connor. Connor, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Ramon. Super happy to be here.
So people may know about Kyle, but Connor, what do you do here at the studio?
Ramon, I am a gameplay producer. Been here for about 3 years. Started out in tests, got transitioned over to the team, and I'm loving learning from Kyle, Gil, just everyone around here.
The wink emoji. We're about to talk about all things gameplay. The first big review.
His wink that he did?
Before we get into
Come on, dude.
A ton of testing. We've been playing tournaments, and we have been looking silly because you have to learn how to field all over again in MLB The Show 23. But it's all changes we think you're going to love. Let's get right into it, Connor.
Why?
Yeah, so in last year's game, error rate was mainly the main thing that fielding kind of toggled, but in this year's game there's some quite significant changes.
Like you're mentioning, fielding really controls whether you're a higher attribute, reduced errors, the increased frequency of quicker, faster animations, the more efficient animations that we've captured, as well as really affecting the outfield start transitions. And so those are one of the things that we touched pretty significantly this year to really tier out and really to let you as a player be able to see that differentiation in the field. So with those outfield start transitions,
so the start transitions
on screen right now, the differentiation between a Fox and an Aaron out there. Just speaking from a little bit of
this is how it was last year.
Playing baseball myself, those first steps are very critical, especially playing outfield. Whether it's a hard line drive, whether you're going deep and back. And so as you watch the video, you're going to see that first step separation vary from a quick step, someone that can read that ball right away and get a good first jump, make that catch, or someone that takes a little bit longer. Maybe you take a harder first step because you don't read it as well. You're not really sure. And those are those lower attribute players, like right around 60, 50, where you're going to really, really notice the difference.
How they
And for our newcomers playing, this isn't necessarily a new feature to start transitions. But what we noticed was they weren't playing enough, right?
Absolutely.
So we went back to the drawing board and rebalanced everything. Now, like Kyle mentioned, the fielding ability attribute, when you're playing and you have the controller in your hand, it controls the errors that are non-throwing. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And this also controls the start transitions. Is that correct?
That is also correct.
Right. So what we've basically done here is we've gone back to the drawing board and rebalanced the start transition. So you're going to see way more variation. Like, it's very noticeable now, right, Kyle?
Very noticeable. And that is also going to affect
balls
making way to the ground or, through the gap, splitting the gaps.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter as soon as you get diamond fielders in.
From watching streams and everything, feel that the field is not playing quite as big as it should. So these start trends
it's because they're all diamond fielders out there.
Types, those hard line drives, the high fly balls. If you have a bad first step on a hard line drive, more often than not, that thing is going to split you and get to the wall.
But that always happened in last year's game, even with bronze fielders.
Balls fall as well.
I'm so confused by this.
It's not just the start transitions and the errors that are non-throwing. It's also the animations that you have.
Right.
If you get a bad jump, you still may be able to get to that ball, but your back might end up being turned the wrong way, and you have to make a much longer throw, which means it's going to grab a longer animation and vice versa.
Yeah, but it was the same way when you had bronze fielders out in the field. They had really bad start transitions too. Like, always.
What can happen in the field, even when you're making plays on the ball. Is that right?
Yeah, right, Ramon.
But we're talking about fielding changes animation-wise. Any new animations coming?
I'm just confused by that.
Ramon, we added new Rob foul animations. We added some first base pick and stretch animations. And as always, urgency is always being discussed. And we added new fielding and throwing urgency animations, and then just a variety of hot shot catch and miss animations. And the final thing is just dives.
Thank you, Connor. As you mentioned, we have hundreds of new gameplay animations, and a lot of them are in the fielding department. To recap real quick, the fielding ability attribute governs errors, non-throwing, correct? Like getting the ball hitting you in your chest or a hot shot or something like that. So when that happens, everyone, remember, that's not your fault because of the individual that you're using and their fielding ability attribute. That's what's going to cause those errors. It also is what's going to determine the start transitions and the jumps, right, Kyle?
Yeah.
So not reaction. What does reaction do then?
The next major fielding revamp, the button accuracy throw meter. But before we talk about the changes, how does this meter?
What's reaction do then?
This meter work in the past, and what did it represent, Kyle?
So in the past, throw accuracy meter had consistent timing, always in the center. Green region scale depending on fielder.
You see the little thing over there that says reaction? But what does that do? Nothing?
It just wasn't challenging enough.
Nope. That's green, sweet spot in the same spot all the time.
Right. We're watching streams. We're playing internally. It doesn't have the competitive nature that some of our other interfaces, pinpoint or zone, a little more complexity to it. And so we thought, how can we add that into the show this year? How can we make it more competitive? How can we keep our players on their toes like the players are in real life? And so there's a little bit of work done that I think Connor is happy to speak to.
Connor, what's changed with button accuracy throwing?
Yeah, these changes are one of my favorites for sure. In previous years, there was just the red, yellow, and green, Ramon, and those were pretty stagnant.
No, they were stagnant. They didn't move at all.
Yeah, so in this year's game, it's changed quite a bit. Difficult infield plays, that green section is going to move. And those long outfield throws, it's going to move as well.
Yeah, so like you mentioned, with the moving meter, it just adds the sense of urgency to the players, trying to mimic, exactly what they're feeling on the field. runners on base, runners in scoring position, trying to throw a runner out from second and center, 250 feet away.
Yeah, okay, I mean, that's good.
It's not easy, you know. So
yeah, I mean, it's whatever, but this is fine. Yeah, this I don't mind this change
that you all give us.
I mean, it makes sense. That's actually pretty cool.
Wasn't nobody making any errors.
Nobody's making any errors.
Nobody was making any errors.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that.
But that is,
yes,
those
you
days
could.
are gone
Yeah, those outfield
moves.
those outfield assist numbers were astronomical, you know, and
yeah, this is actually pretty good.
Was 11 or 12 was the outfield assist leader, you know, so we want to see some more realism there. You know, you don't want to be throwing everybody out every time. We want those moments to be special, impactful.
Yeah, but I don't want longer animations in the outfield either.
What talking about is everything was too easy.
Because it's just
too easy,
not
just a little too easy for people.
And our,
true to life.
Our put out numbers were astronomical and not realistic at all. So specifically, let's talk about in the outfield, what's happening with button accuracy? What's changing that's going to make
I'm curious about
this numbers way more realistic?
So less throwouts.
The moving of the meter itself is just already difficult and challenging. You're focusing on a couple things. You have to know where your runners are in space on the bases. You have to hit
animations aren't lengthened at all. That's good.
You're most efficient.
The meter is just faster.
All those things combined with running an efficient route to the ball, it's challenging in real life, and we want that challenge for you all, you know, in our game.
For some of our new fans watching this stream and learning about MLB The Show for the first time, what is the green spot and what determines its size? The sweet spot in the meter, the green
accuracy
little area.
Yeah, so the green area is the sweet spot, as you mentioned. It's going to be an online throw if you hit that green spot. That is tied to the arm accuracy.
So does reaction mean nothing now?
Because of that, we've also balanced our other mechanics as well.
Because fielding,
whether you're using buttons or analog throwing,
fielding is kind of your initial break on the ball.
Numbers.
So reaction's just a worthless stat now in DD.
In the player's hands, because the really cool aspect of it is with this really challenging throw accuracy meter, you can take some hits on other statistics if you can master the meter. You can take a hit with poor arm accuracy for a shortstop, for example, because he's a better hitter. And so if you're good, if you get into custom practice, which I'm happy to say we've done a couple changes for you, and go on in there, tech it out in the tech test, and get your hands on the throw accuracy meter, test it out before you start playing everybody live.
So quick recap, all of the fielding interfaces have been rebalanced. That's correct.
Absolutely.
But button accuracy has been completely revamped. The sweet spot, the green area.
Revamp? I mean, I just feel.
Yes.
I mean, I know that they have to use these words, but
of the play and
you literally just went from here and just went.
Yeah. So
like that's
distance of the throw and difficulty.
I mean, it's not really a revamp,
Ramon,
but
we left one thing out.
What we leave out?
The yellow portion of the meter. Force throws to first. Now the yellow portion of the meter, and what that does, it's basically a dirt throw region. So if I'm throwing the first and I hit it inside that yellow region, it's up to the first baseman's fielding attribute whether he's going to make that pick.
Oh,
great.
Frank Thomas comes to mind.
More RNG.
So it's yellow, but it doesn't correlate to the person throwing the ball. That's really going to correlate to who you have at first base, because it's a dirt throw and you're hoping that guy over there has a high fielding ability.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, you do.
All right. So we're talking about
diamond fielding first base.
We talked about the fielding ability.
Is what you're going to be looking for.
About jumps and dives. We talked about button accuracy. Now
so what nothingness did I miss?
Quirks and attributes. Also, big changes coming to quirks. What are they?
So we have 4 new quirks this year: pickoff artist, table setter, break outlier, and bad ball hitter. And the pickoff artist kind of does exactly what it says it does. You're going to get a little boost when you're on the mound.
Stop, dude.
Quicker.
What is that last one?
Hopefully being able to get that runner out. The table setter kind of does what it says. Nobody's on base. You excel at getting on, kind of jump starting your team. Break outlier. This is for pitchers, both starting and relief. The starting pitchers, the 3rd and 4th time through the lineup, won't lose as much break, so you can expect to see the same type of tightness on a slider and a curveball that you would in the 1st and the 8th inning, whereas if they didn't have that outlier attached, you'd see the slider.
Yeah, let's see how it actually plays out in gameplay, I guess.
And then lastly, the bad ball hitter. That is a little bit of a buff or a little bit of a boost when you're swinging and making contact at pitches outside of the zone. So if you're thinking Vlad Guerrero picking it off the dirt,
but that's everybody.
Where you'd see that quirk take
that's
effect.
Not the only thing happening in the quirks. In game, what else is changing?
I gotta skip a rundown
to the realm of quirks.
Yeah, so
thank you for the raid, though.
Removed passive quirks. in this year's game especially. We just felt like there were a lot. There were some that did something, some that didn't do anything.
So if they didn't do anything, they're gone.
They're gone.
Appreciate it, dude. Thank you.
So what that means is what you see is what's impacting gameplay.
And I think that's really important. Don't forget Quirks stack. So if you're lucky enough to have a player with 3 or 4 quirks, maybe it's a day game, a road game, and you got those 2 things, those will stack and they will affect either the size of your PCI or the sweet spot whether you're pitching.
Okay.
So it's all affecting the gameplay.
But
I like
we're
that.
Not done. Another big change you'll be able to play in the tech test tomorrow, because you're going to be able to play with all of this, is we were talking about attributes, right?
Yeah, we were.
We have a complete change on
There's no way.
Attribute called
It'll be DD.
clutch. It does not work the way it used to. How did it change, fellas?
So we made it meaningful, really. We wanted to highlight those players that are successful when the time calls for it. You know, runners on base, big game, 9th inning. The ones that step up, the ones that step up, or that pitcher that's just nails, like fastball, go take a seat, next one up. You know, that's what we wanted the clutch attribute to do. Highlight specific players. You know, you got. Judge is a great example of someone when he comes up, you know, that intimidation factor is there. That guy is ready when the moment calls for it. So Connor, why don't you tell us a little bit about how that clutch is going to factor in with contact and stuff?
Most definitely. So in years past, contact and hits per 9 have kind of been battling with one another. But now with runners in scoring position, clutch is a direct replacement for contact, and pitching clutch is a direct replacement for hits per 9.
So let's say this again. Clutch is now swapping attributes. What happens when you're a pitcher now?
When you are pitching clutch replaces hits per 9 with runners in scoring position.
With runners in scoring position. That's massive.
Okay.
But it's also big on the hitting side. So as a batter with the runner in scoring position, what does clutch as an attribute do now?
Clutch now swaps in.
So like if you have
contact.
So if you have 60 contact left or right, but you have a 90 clutch, runners in scoring position, you'll then get a 90 contact.
If there's somebody
that's pretty cool.
In scoring position,
I like that.
If you're a hitter.
That's right, Ramon.
This seems like a lot. Also, all of this information, including the breakdown for all of the things that you'll see in game, like clutch, power, is in the handbook. Full definitions. And also, where can you find the handbook?
It's in the Diamond Dynasty menus.
So we've been talking about attributes. We just told you about how clutch is.
Where's the handbook for the game and what it does? It's in the Diamond Dynasty menus.
Yeah, so this
Get the fuck out of here, dude.
Taking some time to touch up, and what you see is what you're gonna get this year. You're gonna see on the left, Framber Valdez, for example. He's got his per 9s.
Oh my God! You want to learn about things gameplay related? Yeah, go into Diamond Dynasty.
There's his active quirks, and those are just gravy on top.
Yep. So you've got pluses and minuses to those attributes based off of those quirks. Any other
that's cool. Yeah, I like that.
On-screen displays to show more accurate and pertinent information.
Yeah. So we're gonna touch on swing feedback in a little bit, but one of the coolest things we've added is just StatCast, and that is left on the D-pad. StatCast is gonna update based on just the situation of the game. It's gonna update throughout the game with any information that a player might want to see.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool to check where my numbers are at the end of the game, how much I whiffed, how much contact I make in, what the
I like that. That's cool.
To me. That's really cool stats that I personally like seeing.
You can kind of see it now, but they're just making it accessible here.
Let's talk about swing analysis.
I like that.
It's been completely revamped.
I'm sure it has.
It needed to be completely revamped.
Yeah, let's hear it.
We spent a lot of time on this, and unfortunately,
I hope so.
Doing our best job to show everybody who plays the game the pertinent information, and we'll just leave it at that. Let's talk about why it's changed and why it's so much better.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, so we definitely wanted to make it more clear for everyone that plays our game. It's meant to tell a story, and what you're going to see is that if you read it from the top down, left to right, you're going to see the player's name and his applicable attributes, but under that, you're going to see everything that's important, from swing timing to if you're using zone hitting, PCI placement, and then at the very bottom, you're going to see the overall result.
So the first big change is swing timing is now on the left. Why is that?
So in our hitting engine and in real life, the timing of your swing dictates the rest of your at-bat. You need good timing to be able to hit the ball successfully, whether it's inside or outside, and that timing varies, obviously, depending on the location of the pitch, which also factors into the equation a little bit. So, like you mentioned, timing is the number one most important factor in our hitting engine, followed by your PCI placement when you're using zone interface.
Right, and so not only is swing timing now on the left, it shows up immediately during your swing. If you played the game,
it's on the left now, guys.
Would not show up until after, kind of after the hit had taken place. So we could understand how some people would disregard it as it being important because we didn't show it to you, and that's on us. But that has been changed. You see it immediately now, as Kyle mentioned. Swing timing is the most important thing in your swing, but that's not it. There's a lot of nuance. Let's talk about PCI placement. I'm already seeing differences in the PCI. Why has it changed? What does it mean?
Yeah, so you're going to see quite a big difference. This year we've added that little center dot to the PCI. That's kind of the bullseye region. Now, as you get farther away from it, it kind of changes whether your PCI is above or below the ball or to the left or right. But in saying that, we've gotten rid of just that center area, that kind of yellowed filled in portion, just to kind of
too much ambiguity.
Stop.
Too much ambiguity.
And not enough nuance, which is very difficult, and that's what we're trying to do. So the center dot, is that the perfect region?
That is.
Is that perfect ground ball, fly, or line drive?
See, because there's some ambiguity in the swing feedback, it can be slightly above or below it and still be a perfect. So ideally, yeah, the very center is going to be a perfect line drive, but it's not always that way.
And that's due to the combination of your swing timing. There's not just one perfect swing timing for a pitch. There's a millisecond range that you can work within. So hence the way the system works.
And the last big change of swing timing, what is going on at the bottom? I see some text here, Kyle.
It's the same.
So we repurposed that contact grade. The contact grade all along, even from 22
Yeah, so
and 21,
it's the same. Like nothing's changed.
Your final output grade, but we weren't doing a great job as a gameplay team, giving that to you all out there. And so what we wanted to do is simplify it, like Connor and Ramon have both been saying, simplify that contact grade. So now that
they changed the way that the feedback is shown to you.
Really reflect the output on the field. Your combination of swing timing and PCI placement are both factored into contact with your exit velo and launch
that's how it's always
angle.
been, though.
And for those of you who maybe question a little bit, put that exit velo and put that launch angle on Baseball Savant in the calculator, and you're going to get numbers in terms of distances that match and reflect what you see.
That's not the problem, though.
You've got the handiness of the pitch, you've got the spin of the pitch, you've got the location of the pitch, you've got wind, you've got park factors. And there's a lot of nuance. There is still a lot of nuance in the results of your swing. But we're very, very confident that this new swing analysis box is way better than anything we've ever had, and we can't wait for you to try it out. And you're going to get to try it out tomorrow. So remember, your swing timing is on the left, your PCI placement is on the right, and your contact grade, that's below, right?
Right.
So you're adding up all
I don't think so.
That's a great way to look at it, Ramon. You're adding up all of your inputs, and the contact is your
this
final
is how
result.
it's
we've
always been.
All new swing analysis, but what's an all-new swing analysis box without some hitting changes? So we have
this is what I need.
Right? We've got 3 of them: casual, simulation, and competitive. Casual and simulation numbers look great. The community was very happy. Those modes still got
competitive,
changes, but y'all were happy with it, so we didn't touch a whole lot. However, competitive mode is a different story. The competitive gameplay style has been completely redone. Let's talk about the changes.
Yeah, I know earlier I said throw accuracy meter changes were one of my favorite, but I truly think this might take it. Competitive is a really cool thing, and these gameplay styles are one. It's just an area we feel we can. It's an avenue for us to go down and to kind of differentiate the game for different types of players.
Yeah.
And with that competitive the feedback that we get from you all on streams, the esport tournaments that we watch, those things are so awesome. We really want to highlight the player skill that you all have out there. It's so awesome to watch those tournaments.
Yeah, it's great.
Game-winning home runs.
That's my favorite.
Throws. But we notice I think we could be a little bit more competitive. I think
Yeah?
we need to do more to that pitcher-batter matchup. We weren't happy with some of the foul ball rates we were seeing. We weren't happy with the amount of swinging.
Yes, you were. You said you were.
Unfortunately, we were seeing too much contact up there. So we thought as a gameplay team, how can we get better? How can we make these changes? And so we looked at all these different things to enhance that pitcher-batter matchup.
Perfect. Let's start with foul ball changes.
Yeah, foul ball. All right.
Gameplay style. What's changing when it comes to foul balls?
There's less of them, Ramon. You're gonna notice that pitchers can strike batters out a lot easier now.
Yeah, I'm sure. Show it to me.
It's what we see in real life, and it's what we want people to experience on our game. If you're pitching well, you're gonna get the guy out.
Show it to me.
I think that's really important to highlight. A lot of frustration internally as well as with you all out there is the lack of being able to finish off an at-bat with 2 strikes. It can be really frustrating when you get 2 strikes on a batter and they're throwing sliders and curveballs and off speeds down and away or down or even up and in, and they're fouling off pitches that they probably should not be getting to.
No, they shouldn't be.
Especially with poor timing. You know, if you're
working as intended though, right guys?
Really, you should not be rewarded with an extra pitch. You know, that pitcher got you and we need to, rectify that, and we did. The swing and misses are there. The foul ball rate was extended at bats.
What does that mean?
We weren't happy with seeing that. Those 9
we
or 10
know.
pitch at bats.
You've said it already.
Poor timings, like that is something we didn't like to see, and so we've made changes to address those things in the competitive mode.
Okay.
At the end of the day, previous years I've always struggled with
literally not going to show.
I finally feel like I'm able to make up for it with my pitching in this year when it comes to pinpoint and just being able to sequence my pitches.
Yep, being able to strike guys out.
This guy coming from the tourney winner, of course, he mentions his ability to execute his pitches.
You won the tourney?
The All-Star bracket, not the Hall of Fame.
Hey man, you stick your chest out.
So they're not going to show how they're just saying.
See his
trust us.
You won the tourney. All right. We just talked about foul ball rates. We've talked about swing analysis, complete revamp, and everything in game.
So
what else? Where are we talking
trust
about?
us.
You're going to notice a significant decrease in the amount of cheap hits that you would expect. And what I refer to as cheap hits are those really late timing flares over the first baseman or third baseman. Those are very, very frustrating.
Throw some balls in the dirt and show me.
Strikes, or especially with runners in scoring position. It as a player, it's not fun to have that happen to you. Can it happen? Of course. The whole spectrum is there, but we narrowed the entire range for those very early, very late swings. So you'll see a lot less of those.
What Kyle is basically saying is if you're playing on,
I'm just gonna have to wait for the tech test.
Good
I guess.
Swing timing, great swing timing, perfect swing timing, good PCI placement. You're gonna hit the ball harder. You're gonna find more green grass. Those loop hits that you would get from weak timing or okay contact, those are happening at a much lower clip. Is that correct?
Absolutely correct.
And we've done a few tournaments here. The game is we're seeing this play out.
They could have just recorded some and showed us.
Strikeouts are up, so we're really excited to have everybody play out these tons of changes that are coming to MLB The Show 23. Kyle and Connor, we've been talking about gameplay.
Oh my God, that was so bad. I mean, we'll just have to wait for the tech test.
Find yourself playing in competitive mode.
It is a gameplay style, so if you are in Diamond Dynasty, it's set to competitive.
That's pretty much for all competitive online games, right?
All online games, all Diamond Dynasty, whether online or offline.
Oh, so even if I'm playing
I mean, it's probably going to be all I play this year, but we'll see.
Mode.
Yes.
And I can toggle it on and off if I'm playing offline in a different mode.
Yep, you just go to your gameplay styles and toggle them there.
All right. We forgot to mention something, and it's pretty significant. Kyle, plate vision is an attribute.
Yeah, it is. What's this going to mean? It's outer PCI. What is it now?
So to take effect in competitive, you're going to notice right away that we took 50% of your vision away on the outside. And really, that's the swing and misses and foul balls. That was a big enhancer.
So they just shrank vision.
When it wasn't warranted. You would see off PCI.
I got to pause it. Casual. So they just shrank it.
Fouls and even potentially hits, and so that shrunken vision is really changing the way the foul ball rates.
Say that one more time.
That is good.
The reduction?
50%. Half.
50%. Half.
50% I still don't think is enough, though, because you're still going to be able to reach a lot of balls with your vision.
Test, you can play it tomorrow. We've talked about field
Yeah,
changes,
that's literally, they could have done that 7 months into the cycle last year. Just made the PCI vision indicator lower.
But the MLB have some rule changes. Which rule changes are we going to see in MLB The Show 23?
I don't know. We'll just have to test it on the tech test.
Right out of the gate is the newly implemented shift rule, and that's with a minimum of 4 infielders on the dirt at all times.
Okay.
With 2 infielders on each side of second base, and it's really going to kind of we're interested as a gameplay team to see the way it changes the game.
That's cool.
We have the default set accordingly, but we're really curious to see how it's going to play in spring training and through the course of the year. So we're ready to adjust those shifts as needed, because I'm really curious to see what people do with the outfielder if they try to play rover. So that's going to be really interesting from our team.
Yeah, so defensive shifts are still in the game, but we're implementing the new real-life MLB rules.
Yeah, and then we have the pitch timer and head-to-head. We've always had that when you're playing online head-to-head competitively or offline head-to-head. We have that auto pitch timer at, I think it's a 6-second mark right now. The pickoff limit, and that was where if the pitcher picks off twice, they only have 1 more attempt to pick off successfully. If not, it's balked. The runner moves on to second or third.
All right, so they got them all in there. That's not implemented. Okay.
Balancing reasons, it will be balk city because everybody would just be doing that, right?
Yep.
But the new defensive shift rules are in. The other change that you will not see in MLB The Show 23 is visually bigger bases.
Yeah.
But the MLB rule changes are in for defensive shifts. Can't wait to see what y'all try out. Competitive mode has been rewritten from the ground up. The clutch is completely different.
Feedback from the 10 and get all those numbers back.
Also, just want to thank the AI team. I know
people about the tech test today.
Oh my God, they are.
We want rewards in co-op. We heard it. So we did it. So just like solo ranked, now there's co-op ranked, where there's a ladder that you're going to be climbing. When you play with your buddies and you win games, your rating goes up. If you lose games, it goes down.
There better not be cards tied to this that you need to get.
Solo ranked, you're going to get rewards. So
it should just be
short, we got rewards in co-op.
Okay, it should just be separate from online. They shouldn't force you into ranked co-op.
We'll just tip you off about in the tech test. First, DH. The MLB got the universal DH just this last season, so now we have it in Diamond Dynasty as well. So any squad you play with in Diamond Dynasty has a DH.
DH is
cool.
MDD, but that's not all, Kyle.
That's good.
Yeah, alongside that, we've of course added full two-way player functionality. I'll give you an example. Of course, the one everybody knows is Shohei Ohtani. So we'll have Shohei Ohtani's Live Series card, which still is a starting pitcher, but it has secondary positions, so that's
cool.
What makes him a two-way player. And that goes for any player in Diamond Dynasty. When they're a pitcher with secondary positions, you can use them as a DH and in your starting rotation. Yeah,
that's huge, because you can make Shohei a DH if you want.
To have him as the DH in the rotation, you can just put him in one of his secondary positions. So now that player
that's
is
nice.
Just super flexible.
That's actually really
nice.
nice.
Player is in real life.
Thank you so much, Kyle, for joining us and giving us those extra tidbits of info about what's going to be in the tech test. We'll also be joined by Kyle very, very soon for the Diamond Dynasty feature premiere. Have still so much to talk about. We want to give an extra special thanks to our guest today.
Is that it?
Luis Steve Merca.
All right. Updated throw accuracy meter. Cool. I mean, it's still going to be brainless after a while once you get used to it, but that's still pretty cool. Updated quirks. Okay. I mean, that's fun. The clutch attributes, I actually kind of like that, where clutch means a little bit more now, so that's good. Revamped competitive gameplay, I don't know. I have to see that. If all they did was decrease your vision by 50%, then just get guys with high vision and foul off every single ball still, no matter what. So, gonna have to test that out in the tech test, because like, on the surface, sure, like, that could be cool, but if you're still just fouling everything off, then who gives a shit? It says updated foul balls and swing and miss rates. They didn't show any examples of this. And add in bad ball hitter, true. If they have the quirk of bad ball hitter, does that just mean that they just get all that vision back? So, okay. Updated foul ball, like, I wish they would have shown this. They didn't show any of this. They didn't throw any balls in the dirt. Why didn't they show any of this? Exactly. 3 people should have that. You know, if they get like Ichiro back, Vlad. And that's it. I wish they would have shown this stuff, though. What does swing and miss rates mean? Because if I looked at it, it still looked like the same contact, the same vision, just smaller now. Are there off PCI foul balls still? Are there off PCI hits still? Because that's one way to make swing and miss rates higher. If the ball isn't touching the PCI, you ain't making contact with the ball at all. Like, has that been changed maybe? I don't know. I wish they would have actually shown something, though. But, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter because tomorrow we're going to have the tech test where we can do it ourselves. We can watch it ourselves. I'm worried about this, though, because something that Diamond Dynasty does is they force you into modes in order to get collections done. If this can be used as a secondary option to get collections done, that would be awesome. If they force me into playing a co-op mode to get cards that I then have to use to finish collections, if I bought the game, if I buy the game, I hate that. I cannot stand that. Forcing me into a mode to finish collections. If that's the case, then hopefully I guess they just make them purchasable, but then buy more stubs or go play co-op if nobody's on. That sucks. Play with randoms, because I'm sure that'll be fun. I like this in theory. I just have to see it actually implemented. It's like, hey, you want to finish the collections? Well, better go get World Series and co-op. Universal DH is nice, though. I like this. One thing that I wish they would have done is made DH cards. I think that would have been cool if they made DH specific players. But doing it this way allows you to use Shohei Ohtani. It's so funny. Last year they implemented the 2A stuff, and then you couldn't even do it in Diamond Dynasty. But now you can. Now you can actually use it. Oh my god, that's so hilarious. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Overall, this is, to me, just a huge nothing burger, I guess, until I actually play it. Rule changes are good. You know, the shifts, that'll be good. Like, the plate vision. Can you guys say with your entire chest that, this is going to increase strikeouts? I mean, I guess it will a little bit, but this guy, McCutcheon has 62 vision. And look how fucking huge this is still. I mean, I don't know what they're playing on. It's probably a fairly easy rookie, probably. But the thing is if you still have off PCI hits and foul balls, it won't matter. Well, if this is rookie, I guess, if this is the lowest level, that might be good. But again, it doesn't matter. If you still have off PCI hits and foul balls, none of this matters. We'll find out tomorrow. Looking over all this, it all just feels like a huge nothing burger that could work, could not work. We just have to wait and see. That's kind of where I sit right now. This feature premiere was it was a lot of talk overall. We'll find out. We'll see what happens. I don't know. We'll just see what happens on the tech test. I'll probably be playing it to try it out and see how it plays.